Skitter walk is an entirely different type of surface lure. It pushes a V-wake like a mullet would. It's walking the dog style of zigzagging left and right. That's also one of the things that makes it so unique. It also inside has a nice little rattle that ticks and tocks just like a clock. It's only a matter of time till this lure is gonna find a place in a fish's face. Let me show you how this lure works. One of the unique features about the Skitter walk is its side-to-side action. It's called walking the dog. And how do you make the Skitter walk walk the dog? Well, two things. You got to keep your rod tip nice and low, as well as you got to make sure that you don't reel the reel too fast, because then you won't have any slack. It won't be able to go left and right. Now that was your basic walking the dog type of retrieve. A retrieve you might use for a snook, a tarpon, a redfish, or even a sea trout. Now I want to show you an aggressive type of retrieve that we use for barracudas, big jacks, or even a kingfish or a wahoo offshore. The name of this game is covering as much ground as possible. Make big, long casts. The main thing is keep that rod tip up and reel. You gotta reel as fast as you can. You can't pull this bait away from these fish. Burn, baby, burn. Don't stop the lure when he gets after it. Keep it coming. You know, the Skitter pop is one of my favorite all-time topwater baits. The chugging sound that it makes, whether I'm inshore or offshore, really attracts fish. Let me show you how this bait works. You know, the flats are a real quiet and subtle place. And one of the keys to working these Skitter pops are that you want to make little tiny pops. You want to keep the bait moving. You do not want to chug it real hard. I think because the flats are so quiet, that if you chug it real hard, quite often you'll offend the fish or you'll spook them. It really helps to keep the rod tip down, because if you have the rod tip up, a lot of times it makes the Skitter pop, you know, jump out of the water. So I think it's best to keep your rod tip down. And also you don't want to reel too much, because you can't get that side-to-side action if you don't have slack between twitches. Remember, you gotta experiment with your retrieve. A lot of times the retrieve that you use depends on the species that you're fishing for. A good example, a trout, you might want to pop and pause. On a snook or a tarpon in real shallow water, they're really spooky up there. So make sure that you skitter the Skitter pop right by them. Real soft little pop, 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 pop. Keep the bait moving. Vary your retrieves, that'll work for you.